When he was taken away from me just like that, I had to step away.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at film actors who drew on personal loss or hardship in memorable performances.
I don't know what you want me to say.
I want you to tell me what's going on. I want to know.
Brendan Fraser, The Whale.
The author was just trying to save us from his own sad story. I hate everyone.
Mental health played a part in Brendan Fraser's decline by the 2010s. He was crushed by surgeries, a costly divorce, and his mother Carol's death from cancer. Accusations that he was sexually assaulted by Hollywood figurehead Philip Burke further stifled his career.
I can only live the experience of my life and respect that my mother didn't raise a hypocrite.
But Darren Aronofsky took a chance on Fraser with The Whale. The tragedy of a self-destructive, absent father resonated with Fraser in his dark state. Besides putting on considerable weight behind prosthetics, he brought his own burdens to a physically and psychologically demanding performance. Fraser's commitment earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, marking one of the great Hollywood comeback stories of the 2020s. No less important, he feels, was the experienced empathy for those also dealing with loss and trauma.
People are incapable of not caring. People are amazing.
Lady Gaga, A Star is Born.
Hello, I'm Allie Main. Thank you for being here tonight.
Sonia Durham was Lady Gaga's executive director and best friend for almost a decade. Her battle with cancer coincided with the production of 2018's A Star is Born, in which the singer portrays a rising pop star struggling in her private life.
Sit up. I want you to tell things.
I'm not thinking too much.
All right in there. I'm fine.
Durham died on the very day Gaga was to shoot the film's emotional final musical number. Despite the crew's reservations, but with the blessing of Durham's husband, Gaga returned to the set after visiting the hospital.
No, I'll never love again.
Her devastating rendition of I'll Never Love Again rounded out a stellar acting breakout rooted in personal pain. Gaga continues to captivate on the screen and pay tribute to her late friend whenever she can. Liam Neeson, The Grey.
I move like I imagine the damned do. Cursed.
On March 18, 2009, actress Natasha Richardson died following a skiing accident. Husband Liam Neeson claims that he coped with the sudden loss by throwing himself into projects. Among them was The Grey, in which a widowed wolf hunter leads survival efforts after a plane crash in the Alaskan wilderness.
How are we gonna deal with this? We kill him. One at a time. Tip the numbers. That's what they're doing to us.
The philosophical thriller's parallels with the loss of Richardson were said to have influenced Neeson's uniquely dramatic performance. The Grey wound up being one of the most admired of the actor's action movies, featuring what some consider to be one of the best performances of his career.
Once more into the fray. To the last good fight I'll ever know. Live and die on this day.
Neeson now seems to be content with his life, while Michael Richardson has followed his parents into acting. Austin Butler, Elvis.
You're my girl. I said, you'll always be my bestest girl.
In 2014, Austin Butler lost his mother Lori to cancer. The grief was so overwhelming that the 23-year-old actor briefly considered retiring.
I started to question if this was a profession that, could help the world or anything.
He thankfully proceeded with his art until he found true inspiration in Baz Luhrmann's Elvis several years later. Butler admits that his loss was a key point of connection to his role, as Elvis Presley himself lost his mother Gladys when he was 23. From that connection came a deeply immersed portrayal of the tragic rock star that earned Butler many accolades and established a serious leading man. It also helped him resolve difficult feelings.
I can't go out there. I just want to stay here forever.
Oh, my boy. No one could never replace her.
Clearly unafraid to tap into heady motivation, Butler is surely honoring the memory of his mother and the Presley family. Richard E. Grant, The Lesson.
If only gods come out of the machine, Liam. Ghosts stay in them.
Dialect coach Joan Washington succumbed to a long battle with cancer in 2021. 2 years later, Richard E. Grant paid tribute to his wife with the memoir A Pocketful of Happiness and the film The Lesson. The latter stars Grant as a reclusive writer whose family collapses after the death of his son.
But if you're asking me seriously, and I sincerely hope that you're not, whether my son's death has inspired my writing, the answer is no. I will not be writing about his death. I will be writing in spite of it.
The actor told the Academy newsletter that he took the project partly because of its story's parallels with his own tragedy. Grant was as darkly charismatic as ever, with an emotional complexity that distinguished an otherwise toxic character.
A real talent. Tried to help him. Constructive criticism like I gave you. But he was weaker than I thought.
He braved dark depths to in turn distinguish The Lesson as a deeply personal thriller. Mostly though, he prefers to honor Washington by living for joy.
4 days before she died, she said to my daughter and I, try and find a pocket full of happiness in each day.
Yeah.
And she said, I know you'll be sad. And that really has helped us because it's given us a kind of something to focus on a daily basis.
Katherine Hepburn, The Lion in Winter. Despite efforts to downplay their affair, Katherine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy were one of old Hollywood's strongest couples until the latter's fatal heart attack in 1967. Hepburn quickly returned to work with The Lion in Winter. James Goldman's adaptation of his own play dramatizes Henry II of England's conflicts with his family, namely his wife Eleanor.
You led too many civil wars against me.
And I damn near won the last one. Still, as long as I get trotted out for Christmas courts and state occasions now and then.
Hepburn dominated the epic with the anger and grace of a woman facing domestic turmoil. It was undoubtedly a personal performance and one of the best of a towering career.
Well, what family doesn't have its ups and downs?
Hepburn won her third Oscar 1 year after winning for her last collaboration with Tracy.
I don't think I've ever seen her quite so happy as she is right now.
If Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was a tribute to her partner, The Lion in Winter affirmed her resilience. Lupita Nyong'o, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
I was afraid of how final the funeral would be.
The whole acting community mourned Chadwick Boseman's shocking death from cancer in 2020. The loss weighed heavy on Lupita Nyong'o, his dear friend and on-screen love interest in 2018's Black Panther. It was certainly a major influence on her performance in the superhero blockbuster's sequel, Wakanda Forever. Nyong'o channeled her grief in a heartbreaking yet strong-willed portrayal of the bereaved warrior, Nakia.
If you go to war for vengeance, it will not fill the hole left from her loss. It will only grow larger, and it will consume you.
In fact, she told The Hollywood Reporter that she modeled her cathartic performance after the strength of Boseman's widow, Simone Ledward.
You know, the grief really, it moves in, it sits on your shoulder, and it says, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. So you're just, getting used to carrying the weight.
Nyong'o may have won great renown along with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, but she credits Ledward as the true heart of her tribute to a great friend and artist. Michelle Williams, Blue Valentine.
I'm sleeping! Stop! It's too early.
We're tigers.
28-year-old Heath Ledger's death in 2008 was more than a shock to the public. His grieving ex-fiancée, Michelle Williams, did Blue Valentine only on the condition that they move production near her home in Brooklyn for the sake of her and Ledger's daughter. But the story of a young couple's courtship and bleak marriage was a daunting project for the actress.
I'd like to see you have a job where you didn't have to start drinking at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to it.
No, I have a job that I can drink at 8 o'clock in the morning. What a luxury,
She later explained in interviews that the performance allowed her to relive her relationship and deal with unresolved issues. The result was a dramatic masterpiece that earned Williams an Oscar nomination.
Is this how you wanted to grow up?
I don't want her to grow up in a home where her parents treat each other like this.
Blue Valentine further propelled her as one of the most esteemed actresses of our era. She also considered it an important step in recovery for herself and Matilda Ledger.
Matilda, it's one thing to be completely honest as an actor, it's another thing to be completely honest as a human being, and that's just who you are and how you live.
Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom.
Do we play with fire?
Jonathan Larson's untimely death in 1996 was itself a tragedy, especially since he would never see the success of his magnum opus musical, Rent. That was the mindset that Andrew Garfield brought to the adaptation of Larson's autobiographical musical Tick, Tick, Boom. The actor had lost his mother Lynn to cancer in 2019, shortly before production commenced. The weight of this influenced the existential angst in Garfield's take on a man who would not live to see his dreams fully realized. He told Stephen Colbert in an interview that his incredible debut as a vocalist was an expression to both his mother and Larson.
I hope this grief stays with me, because it's all the unexpressed love that I didn't get to tell her. And I told her every day. We all told her every day. She was the best of us.
Tick, Tick, Boom brought some peace to Garfield, as well as a Golden Globe. Besides commemorating a Broadway legend, the performance finds humanity in a personal anguish.
Tell me why, someone tell me why so many people bleed.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Meryl Streep, Kramer vs. Kramer.
Come on, just tell me what I did. That's all. Just tell me what I did that's so terrible.
You, it's not
Then
you.
what is it?
It's me. It's my fault. You just married the wrong person, that's all.
The domestic drama Kramer vs. Kramer was a very personal project for both lead actors. Dustin Hoffman was himself going through a divorce, while Meryl Streep was mourning her partner John Cazale's death from cancer. She would be pushed to alarming extremes in the bold role of a depressed woman who walks out on her family.
Well, I've learned that I love my little boy, and that I'm capable of taking care of him.
What do you mean?
Hoffman motivated Streep with violence and remarks about Cazale. Her resilience and input on her role's characterization ultimately delivered a groundbreaking performance that won Streep her first Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress.
I don't know how anybody can possibly believe that I have less of a stake in mothering that little boy than Mr. Kramer does.
Hoffman's methods remain highly controversial. Though Streep married Don Gummer while working on Kramer vs. Kramer, her artistic motivation was its own testament to the complicated impact of losing someone. What are some other great acting performances to come out of great pain? Open up in the comments.
When I miss her, I remember it's because she made me so happy. So I can celebrate her, and I can miss her at the same time.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.